get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah.
Yes, I can. Doubt, better leave. I'm running with this plan. Pull me, grab us in the bucket, can't have me. I'll be the president one day. January 1st. Oh, you like that gossip? Like you the one drinking what gossip.com. Now I got a word for your tongue. How many Rolling Stones you want? Yeah, I got a brand new spirit. Speaking and it's done. Woke up on the side of the bed like I won. Talk like the wind in my chest to that sun. G5 in the US to Taiwan. Now who can say that? I wanna play back. Mama knew I was a needle in a haystack. A whole body boy, plus way back. I got a feeling it's a rap. ASAP.
Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling.
The mountain top, walk on water. I got power, feel so royal. 1 second, I'ma strike for you. Diamond, platinum, no more for you. That adrenaline, never giving in. Giving up's not an option, gotta get it in. Witness, I got the heart of 20 men. No fear, go to sleep in the lion's den. That glow, that spark, that crown. You're looking at the king of the jungle now. Stronger than ever, can't hold me down. 100 miles gunning from the pitch's mile. Straight game face, it's game day. See me running through the crowd full of melee. No trick plays, I'm Bill Gates. Take a genius to understand me.
Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling. Get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah. Get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah.
Yes, I can. Doubt, better leave. I'm running with this plan. Pull me, grab us in the bucket, can't have me. I'll be the president one day. January 1st. Oh, you like that gossip? Like you the one drinking what gossip.com. Now I got a word for your tongue. How many Rolling Stones you want? Yeah, I got a brand new spirit. Speaking and it's done. Woke up on the side of the bed like I won. Talk like the wind in my chest to that sun. G5 in the US to Taiwan. Now who can say that? I wanna play back. Mama
get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, no, I get a good feeling.
The mountain top, walk on water. I got power, feel so royal. 1 second, I'ma strike for you. Diamond, platinum, no more for you. That adrenaline, never giving in. Giving up's not an option, gotta get it in. Witness, I got the heart of 20 men. No fear, go to sleep in the lion's den. That glow, that spark, that crown. You're looking at the king of the jungle now. Stronger than ever, can't hold me down. 100 miles gunning from the pitcher's mouth. Straight game face, it's game day. See me running through the crowd full of melee. No trick plays, I'm Bill Gates. Take a genius to understand me.
Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, no, I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, no, I get a good feeling. Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, no, I get a good feeling, yeah. Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, no, I get a good feeling, yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session, Deepening the Experience from Intuit Education. Hopefully, you came ready to learn to dive into what we have to offer you today as we explore resources, how we can use this digital online platform for teaching and connecting with our students to the real world. I would say, even in this, not only just our students, but we can also learn in ways that would help us also navigate this world by using the Intuit education tools. So we thank you so much for joining us today. we'll dive right in into the presentation and we'll give a few introductions with who is here. I am Stephen Stone. I am a lead learning guide with Fried Tech Knowledge. We are a partner with Intuit to bring you this fabulous session today. Online with me, I have Miss Emily Pressman. Emily, you want to let us know, introduce yourself, and I'll just come right behind you and finish what I'm saying.
Sure. Hi, I lead educator programming in Intuit for Education, and I will make sure I put my email address in the chat. If you have any follow-up questions, please reach out to me directly, and I'm excited to answer any questions in the chat as we go through the webinar.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Emily, for joining us and lending your expertise from Intuit. Now, with Fried Tech, before I came to Fried, I was the instructional technology training coordinator for a large district here in Houston, Texas, where I reside. So I would always say that I'm one of you. So especially if you are an educator online connected with us this evening, know that I'm one of you. It's not this top dog in some company far away, right, that we don't know where it is, but coming to push down to you, say this is how you ought to use it. So we'll be bringing that expertise as we come into this session. Now, for those of you who are joining us, I would ask that you find the chat, find the two speech bubbles, click on it, and then let us know where you're from, if you are a teacher, and then what do you teach. So let us know pretty much what do you teach, where you're from, what organization are you a part of. We think that some of you already have found the chat and you are chatting away. And so thank you so much for doing that. And someone who has already used this platform, maybe we can just show you some tips and tricks that you may not have known, or maybe some new things that have popped up. So thank you so much for chiming in. Awesome, awesome. All the way from Canada, British Columbia, Phoenix, Arizona. Thank you for joining us. Harlingen, Texas. Thank you, Colorado. Now, if you know that your friends would maybe gain something from this presentation, why don't you share this with them? Say, hey, it's not too late to come on in and join the session. So you share the link with them. Now, as you're letting us know where you're from and who is all here and helping us out tonight and gathering or this evening or wherever you're from, when we look at this, we're going to come at this angle today from four points. Let's recap what Intuit for Education is, Intuit products and its simulations, the real world calculators, and engaging in some Finlit games. I like games. We know that that is something that the students can get excited about. And so in your Intuit for Education account, we must understand, why is it here? Where did it come from? Um, Intuit, if you think of Intuit, my mind literally, it just went straight to finance, and so that's what it's here for. It is backed by 40 years of history of helping people achieve financial confidence. Intuit for Education, guess what? It is a free and flexible tool that you can use to help promote financial literacy. I know as far as national standards and state standards, this can I say this thing or this concept of called financial literacy, it is a thing. So, because we're living in the real world and it takes us spending money in the right ways and knowing what money can do for us. And if we use it in the wrong way and abuse it where we possibly could find ourselves, but we want to stay on the good side of money here. All right. And so, Intuit is for real world tools to help students in three ways: become financially literate, financially capable, and financially confident in what they are doing. And so we want to leverage what Intuit is giving to us as educators, as those who are teachers, or you, like you say, you may be just a presenter, but you're trying to get the word out to the masses to let people know that Intuit has something that is a game changer that will change the way we think and the way we interact with its platform online. Now we know that those of you who want to be familiar with this, there's a guided curriculum, and then there's also a self-paced curriculum when we access the website online. So when we dive into these guided and self-paced activities, we have to know in our guided activities, yes, there is a lesson plan there, and I'll show it in just a second, but there's lesson plans. There are things that teachers that you can leverage, or presenters, whomever is working with the students, or maybe even working with an adult audience, things that you can use that as a guided concept as we're facilitating this process for the learners. And then there's a lesson plan. There are things that we can take to embed what we're doing into what we're doing, or it could be also treated as a standalone. Another thing is when we talked about self-paced, that means this asynchronous style type learning, this blended style type of learning, that any place, pace, and space. So when we look at this from a learner's perspective, I can dive into this platform and I can learn at my own pace. I can navigate and has the videos, because some people like that face-to-face hands-on concept. Some people like the concept of like, hey, just give me what I need and let me go discover myself. So when you dive into this, my screen is showing up weird. Okay, let's see. Screen two, and yeah. My screen, Emily, should be showing maybe the
That's better.
slide on.
Yep.
All right. I had already zoomed in into the online education site. So in my self-paced activities, we would see, let me go ahead and enlarge this then. So my self-paced activity, it is student directed, asynchronous. So I don't have to be in sync with what is going on at the time, and being guided by my teacher. And then I can also customize it. It can be customized for the individual's learning path. All right. So the digital assets and assessments, we'll talk about that in just a minute. But if you're trying to go online and maybe walk with us and practice with us as we move forward, the website that you can go to access this for free, no money here, like financially, is for free. So we can say that when you go here, education.intuit.com. education.intuit.com. All right. And you can gain full access to the lessons. Let me show you where that is. Now, if you just want to just peruse through this, just browse and see what it has to offer. You really don't have to sign in, but because I see that it's already come through to say, I want to gain the full access. Then we'll show you at the end, there'll be a slide, but definitely you can come sign up if you need to. But I'm just going to go and simply log in since my account is already active. I'm just going to go ahead and log in there, and that's not my password there. And as I sign in, I've already created an account. Um, and so as I sign in, you would see here you have your courses, simulators, calculators, and games. So games, calculators, simulators, and courses. So when I dive into this, I would see, and let me scroll down the page in the middle, then I would see personal finance, entrepreneurial finance. We'll be really digging into the personal finance side of it today. But then let me continue on. Look at this. It has self-paced that is showing in the upper right-hand corner on this card. Self-paced personal finance. So we say this is a parity, and then self-paced entrepreneurial finance. And we'll be dealing with those today as we walk through. So as I'm signed in, I'll get the full aspect of what I have. But let me go and show you this here because we're living in a world where the digital content is valuable, right? It's online, and so Intuit includes digital content. No matter if you're in the guided curriculum or the self-paced curriculum, there is digital content for the students to access, to engage in the learning. So from a teaching perspective, you can use the digital content for small group instruction or leverage it and maybe send the kids on their way after you give them what you want them to do. But also, you look at self-paced on the right, the digital assets and assessment. So as the students are walking through themselves self-paced online, they're being assessed as well. So that's what I love it. I didn't have to come back as a teacher and put all this together, but most definitely you will find yourself that this is a perfect way for PBL, for project-based learning and hands-on experimental learning. So one thing we want to know is that when we deal in the self-based learning, the PBL platform, we need to just give it to our students and let them go. So one thing that we're going to dive in today is before I even talk about this TurboTax, filing your tax, and Credit Karma, I know that has already come up and said, Stephen, where can I get the full lessons from? Because sometimes students need a little bit of background. So if you were in the introductory session, sometimes students would need to get the background. And thank you for bringing that up. You can use it in small groups and large group as well. But we're just bringing this up to you right now because we can teach everything in whole group. And coming as a teacher, sometimes we can make it look like students are getting in a whole group, but that small group instruction can bring it in that way there. So thank you for making that point. Thank you so much. But when I dive into my personal finance courses, and you can really dive into this to see, hey, let me go and learn what I want to learn. But what I want to show us here is that when we dive into the courses, we can choose our personal finance section. And what we'll be talking about today is taxes. So it's a no-brainer where we'll dive into this and say taxes. And then what I want to do, because what I'm going to be using today is the TurboTax simulation. So you can actually walk through this and then this will give you what you need to dive into this and you can go it that way. But the reason why I walk back through here, because the question already came up. Where can I get the lesson plans from? Where can I get materials that I can use to embed in my lesson? So let me do that once again. If you're in the platform, I'm going to go into the upper left-hand corner, click on Intuit for Education to go back to my homepage, go back to my dashboard where I started from. And I can click on courses, or since it's already here, courses, personal finance. Then I will scroll down to taxes, the section on taxes. And then let me scroll down to the TurboTax simulation. So when I click on that, ladies and gentlemen, I can then see my learning objectives. Does it meet the national standards? What national standard is it associated with? And then here is my lesson plans. Now your lesson plan is going to open up as far as a Google document. So if you work with Google Drive, are you a Google Workspace person, district, institution, you can just use this as is file and make a copy, and you can go from there. But I do know we have some Microsoft friends. So with my Microsoft friends, you would simply go to File and click on Download, and you can download this as a Microsoft Word document. And then if you just need to put it in your OneDrive, just upload it into your OneDrive, into your folder, where then you can go and edit and make use of this. But there are some links that are already here that you can use on the first two pages. Like, for example, there is a practice filing taxes simulation that the students can then work on, that they can have at their fingertips, where then they can work this out. And then I'm going to scroll down the page, and then you can see here is the full blown lesson plans, how many minutes that this could consist of. But you know your students, you know your learning environment, if I can put it like that. So you can adapt this and use it any way how you want to use it, leverage it, okay? Certainly up to you. So that's where it is right there. Now I see already some people are getting excited to like, wow, I have this. Hey, we now want to work smarter and not harder. Okay, so that's where we are right there. Now I wish these lesson plans were done for me when I was in the classroom. This would save me a world of time instead of creating things from scratch. So when you dive right in, if you want to teach this, here's the TurboTax simulation guide deck. So here's the to view the slides. So you can dive right into the same thing as well. You can go to File, make your own copy, and for my Microsoft friends, you would download this into a PowerPoint. And if you need to access this online, and then you would then go up and then use this into your Microsoft Online platform and make the adjustments as necessary. Now, already, I would then come back and say, who learned something new already that didn't even know that this even existed, where you can have full access to what you need to have access to. Emily, I kind of like this in a way that coming back this way into the courses, I like it that when you get to the end, it also gives you some step-by-step things as far as self-paced material that students can use right within the lesson. Okay, and Emily, I see a question there about the answer key. Okay, so where can you find this simulation? So if you wanted to dive into this and you have your projection screen, whether large group or small group, no matter what size groups do you have, how do you access this? So because this is, look at this word here at the end, simulation, because this is a TurboTax simulation, I'm going to go back and click on home. So let's say I'm not so concerned about the lesson. I just want to walk through the simulation. So it has simulations here that we can walk through, and it said we can practice filing our taxes. This comes this comes as a real world deal right now because it is tax season. And we're kind of getting close to the end where we can no longer file our taxes before we have to file for that extension. So I don't want to get caught up in that this year. But, people want to go out and file their own taxes. And so to get this right, here it is. You can open up the simulator and first at the top, Intuit TurboTax. So let's just walk and just start filing our taxes. So and to show you what this would look like. So then I can jump right in, and in the simulator, you have to just follow the step-by-step instructions. So this is something students would do if they're in that self-paced guided activity, and I'll show you what that is in just a second. It would be embedded right in the lesson. So in like this single tab learning idea, it doesn't take them to a different website. Once they get into it and work along and from your class that you build, they can come right in and to complete the activity or the self-paced activity that you have assigned to them. So I can just come right in and I can fill it out as need be. You can do a copy and paste where you don't have to really calculate. I say calculate because we talk about calculate later. What I've identified, sometimes when you're working with computers, it would auto populate things into your zones. But what I've found in working with this program, and it's a better thing to do, like manually type in every field if you can. So it takes a less chance of making a mistake. Okay. And I see some questions, and I'm typing in my last name for what I see some questions that are truly coming in. So I'm just filling this out and as is and what it is. And so we can go to it from there, and we're going to type in the zip code. So it gives you less of a chance of making a mistake. And you see already something came up to where I made a mistake and I put 24 instead of 04. So it's kind of letting me know. So let's just make sure that we have everything that we need in the right thing right now. And then once I have it, telling me good job. So I'm just walking through the simulator. Also in this simulator, it says, hey, did you pay taxes or did you support yourself in this particular year of 2022? Yes, I got paid for doing something. Let me continue. No, that's not quite right. Okay. Let me go here and see why that is. Then we'll click there to go. Um, so we're going to click continue. So you see in the simulator, as it asks the students the questions, it will give them in such a way where they can't move on unless they reread or make sure that it's right. If a mistake is made, it's going to walk them through. So this is the great test of when you're trying to do your taxes. Make sure you read everything carefully and then put it in as need be. So we would see here that here is a W-2. That's Antonio's W-2 that he can use to complete this simulation. Okay. So when I click on, I have a view, and it's kind of good right here that I have a digital copy of the W-2. Most W-2s come in the mail or they send it to your email, you print it out, or you go to a portal and you can get a digital version of it where maybe you can copy and paste some information over, but I always say kind of be careful with that because you could be copying and pasting and don't copyright and we copy the wrong things. So let's go ahead and enter the employer's name. Let's click here. Is Dairy Queen International. So let's type it in here, exactly what it is. And Dairy Queen. If my fingers would type right today as far as what's coming up. All right. And so once I get that right, it's telling me check. So it's walking them through. So you can see as things are going through and coming in, it's giving me a check. So enter the employer's address, 1540 Camino del Rio. Okay, and then what is our zip code? 92108. City is San Diego. And our state is California. All right, so we have all green check boxes and everything that is needed is there. Click continue, nice job. Okay, and we can see what is our tips and wages and federal income tax, Social Security, Medicare, tax withheld. So we would see here now, I like the way that it's set up. So when I go take a look at my W-2, there's really shouldn't be any confusion because now go take a look at the W-2. Look how it's set up right here as far as the sections. Okay. So when I then go and look at 944008, I can say this is the compensation. All right. And then we could look and see that Social Security, that's Medicare. So this same number can go here if it's asking me to do so. But one thing you're going to see like these question marks that if I hover over it, if the students don't know, that's like for the help. So if you're actually online, it would give you some help of what to enter into this field. But since we're walking through this, the students make them use the simulator to walk through to answer the questions that they may need to answer here, just following through on the simulator. So in box 2, I go back to the W-2 and we do 56401. And we're going to do 58528. And my last box is 136.88. 88. So you see already like the guesswork. is being taken out of it. No, each student will get the same W-2 in the simulator. So they're just walking through the steps. Yes, it's going to be the same for every student. So they're just actually walking through the steps to get familiar with this scenario of being working at Dairy Queen. So now, as they walk through this and they see Antonio's refund is what is showing up on the screen, I like the confetti because, hey, at least you're getting something back, right? It's not giving you a sad face. So when we look over here, they have to answer the question. They have to answer the question, what is the amount of Antonio's federal refund? Okay. What is the amount of Antonio's federal refund? This should be a no-brainer, but this is just trying to see, are students paying attention? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click it. And then let's just say I get it wrong because I'm just clicking. I'm just trying to get through. I'm not paying attention. So, hey, try again. It won't let me go on. So 564 is it is. And we're going to continue. Nice job. So here's a question dealing with my federal income tax or the individual file state taxes. We have to file that here in the United States. And if it's applicable to the individual, then it tells us, well, why do we need to do this? Which of the following are necessary for an individual to file their state taxes? Is it personal information? They need income, deductions, and credits, or all of the above? Just for the sake of time, we're going to choose all of the above and click continue. Say, yes, you're right. Now we can continue on. Now, another thing is, hey, now I need my money. Most often than not, well, some people want to go digital straight to the bank, but some people vouch to get a check in the mail, or they just get a check, period, and which way it goes to a main office or whatever, they get it that way. But you can apply your bank account, and the name of the bank account here is First City Bank. And so they just have to get familiar to know that at a bank, there are certain things that you would need to have as far as the bank name. And sometimes we do know you don't physically have to type in the bank name in some programs, because if you put in the routing number, then it would identify what the bank is. But for this simulation, go ahead and put in the name of the bank so you can get a check. And we're just going to say it's a checking account, and then put in the routing number. So in anything, we put in the routing number and the account number, and we have to verify each of them twice just to make sure that things are correct. It's almost saying it's less of a chance to type it in wrong twice than to type it in wrong once, and then that's what we go with. All right, so we're going to continue on and putting in this information to make sure that is right. And I don't know if you're not like me, but whenever I'm typing numbers in, I may type them in slowly just to make sure that I'm getting them right, especially when we're talking about money. I may just sit back and say, let me have my paper in front of me and go number by number and looking just to make sure that it is correct. Because once we click submit, we don't want there to be any problems or our money to land in somebody else's bank account. And then we have to go through uh, this about, hey, wait a minute. Can I get my money? So we just make sure that is right. And then that's coming from the students as well. So always make sure it's correct. So that's letting us know it's correct and we can move on. Congratulations. Thank you. You're getting closer, whatever. So they get a high five, letting them know you did a great job in doing what you were supposed to do in that activity. Do we have any questions concerning this particular simulation? And I see some questions have been asked already, and Ms. Emily has been taking care of it. Now, what I want to show you, I've already shown you. Yes, yes. So if you build out your class and you create your new class here and your students are connected to your class, you can definitely assign this. I'm going to it right now. You can definitely assign this. Here is a student one where we're diving into to show you like where is this found, like for a self-paced guided activity. I would then click on the student self-paced course, and then we're talking about taxes, and there are 3 lessons here, and then I can then go and say it's understanding taxes, scroll down, and it would be under my thing of right. Yeah. Paying income taxes. And here's the simulation, practice filing taxes. There you go, right there. So I'd already started it. So I'm just going to click on restart. So now it's giving me to my blank slate of where I can go and find this. But look at this though. Just look at this. Here are videos. You can assign a lesson right here, but here are videos that students self-paced can go through and they can walk through the modules themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how easy this can get for us. Just self-paced. Let's just get it to them. And maybe, and I know rarely what I'm finding out too, is rarely homework is being given, but they give students time during the day to even to come before school, stay after school, get it done, or they do it in the class, room during the blended learning rotation time. You can definitely assign this, and the students can get it done that way. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I'm feeling good about this already. I don't know about you, but feeling good, feeling good. So they can practice the simulation themselves, and you can also walk through it as a whole class, or you can get them to it. Now, as we're going through this, another best thing about this is not only just filing taxes is important, but as we continue to live, we know that checking our credit and reading our credit report is a huge deal. Knowing what our credit score is a huge deal. So the way you're going to find this is we would have to go to courses. So when I then go to my courses, let me just click on this button since I keep saying courses, but I know it's a category here already on my home screen, but I'm just going to go ahead and click on the button. So you would see it just takes me to whatever that was on my home screen. It's just an extra step, so we can just see what's there. And then we're going to click on my personal finance. And since our credit score, checking our number, checking what's on our report. We want to deal with credit, excuse me, and then we want to deal with understanding our credit scores. So as a teacher, once again, here it is right here. You can then go in and then understand what the credit score is, but you also have your lesson plans that you can navigate through because I just went through the course side of it to show you where it is. And then we'll show you on the student side in just a second how you can identify this. But when I come into the activity, reviewing a credit score report simulator, I can then click on start, and I'm going to click on restart here because you see I had already dived in. So when I click on start, I would then see right off is bringing me to talk to me about what a credit score is for the most part and what it's all about. So it says your credit report score is a summary of your score credit history. It is made up of many factors which we will explore. So to get started, let us look at the sample credit report score. You kind of see it there, 704 out of 850 there. And you see it won't let them click on one because pretty much we do know you can look at the ones that you can look at. But right off, it says looking at the score at the top of the page, what is the credit score of the individual? All right, 704, just a no-brainer. They can identify that. I'm going to do one more question in this because we have other things to talk about. but I'm going to do just one more question in this. It says, okay, if the score was a 704, pretty much scroll down the page, look at the chart, and where does that score fall in the category? Is it excellent, very good, good, fair, poor, very poor? So where does that score fall? So it falls in the range of good. All right. And then click continue. So I can just continue on and they can continue to navigate and read and understand what this is about. But you as a teacher, this is like in the guided area, and we can stop and do some talk about what we're talking about to make it clean and why this is a real world thing that we need to know. All right. So then I'm going to just simply save and exit out of this. All right. Now, let me show you, because we've already shown you once again where this is found for the teacher. And I'm just going to do it one more time, and then I'll show you the student version of it. So I would go to my courses section, click on personal finance, scroll down to credit, and then it was understanding credit scores. I say that because it's a different path to get to students. The self-paced area just called a different name. So if I go back to the student self-paced personal finance, I would then click on personal finance, self-paced. I'm going to scroll down to credit, and here is the difference. It's monitoring. Let me make sure. Managing credit. I'm trying to find it for you here. Yeah, there it goes right there. Managing credit and monitoring credit here. So let me go do that for you one more time. I got kind of caught up in that. All the words started to mesh together there. Okay, so here's the student self-paced course. We're going to go to credit, managing credit, and then we scroll down. If we just want to just dig into it, it's pretty much under monitoring credit, and we see this simulation there, what's on a credit report. And when I click there, it just brings it up right inside of the Intuit one-click version. Doesn't take them out of the platform. It just stays right in the platform. Then they can save it there. So we can go there. So hopefully that makes sense to you. So the huge thing is, again, it can help us. Not only just help us in simulations of credit report, understanding how to do taxes and different things like that, but is also concerning about inflation calculator or a budget calculator. Just in one word, let's deal with calculations. And these are real world scenarios. So when I dive into, come back to the website, there's a button there for me that says calculators. So when I then click on calculators, I would see it's a number of calculators there that we can use, that we can dive into. And so I'm going to do it backwards. Let's deal with the budget calculator first and then the inflation calculator. So you can see there are many different calculators that we can click on and walk through, use to kind of see what's there. But at the very bottom here, I would see budget calculator, select it, and it talks about, hey, you have a budget. How are you going to deal in this budget? When you need to have money left over from this budget. So yes, it all comes in with zeros, and you can fill and play with the numbers and put those in so students can actually use this. So let's say that students, they want to have a business, and or they have a paycheck, and this could be something that could be used for any grade level, because sometimes students, if they don't really have an idea of what the value of money is. They just want to spend, 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 spend. But then come to have a real life situation going on here that, hey, I need to put money here, I need to put money there. And what is that about? And then once you fill in these spaces, then you select calculate. But I'm going to continue to scroll down the page because there are some practice activities with some numbers here. that we can then use to put in. But guess what, teachers? Teachers, we've made it easy for you that instead of going up here doing this activity and want to go and put the numbers in, you can actually come to the activity and it says click to see the answers. So how did this person do on getting paid, paying their bills, putting money aside? I can click to see the answers and it tells me, I'm over budget. I'm over budget based on my income. So this is just a real world scenario, and then they can move on to the number two, and then they can use that, and they can do all three activities there, and you as the teachers can see the answers to see what can come up with. Can we compare a budget month to month? Emily, you have an answer on that?
I'm not sure. Dan, if we have another colleague online, maybe he can answer that. Can we compare a budget month to month? Yeah, I'm not sure how that would work.
Okay.
If you
Well,
send me an email, George, I can follow up with you. I'll put my email in the chat.
awesome. Thank you. Keep your questions coming in. That's how the program could be enhanced, if I can say it like that. So keep your questions coming. Great thoughts. Keep them coming. Now this is just a budget calculator. Now I'm going to go back and click on my back button and go into the inflation calculator. Now we're dealing with inflation even now, like what do these percentage means and money and what certain value that it was. But again, there I can it's blank, so I can put certain numbers in and I can play with it there. But there are activities here that I can then use instead of this time. I'm not going to click on to see the answers. Let's kind of walk through that together. So my $6, this person said, hey, imagine in 2002, 2002, the average cost of lunch at a fast food restaurant was $6. Because of inflation, what might that same meal cost 20 years later in 2022? Now, is automatically we can put that $6 in. And what was the year that we started? That same $6 in 2002, 2002. What would that have called? What did it cost in 2022 because of inflation? So I'm going to put the year there. Here's the year that I'm talking about, maybe, and then I move forward, final year. Now let's calculate. Woo. We know that as we continue to live, the price of living is steadily increasing. And he said the price, but the cost of living is steadily increasing because of inflation and rising costs. I don't want to um, talk about the price of eggs. Now, wow, it is certainly increased. And I just said the other day, in order for us to go get eggs here in the U.S., I say that's probably going to be like a delicacy now, like caviar. You're paying that price of that. But also, and let me start over here. So let me go to activity two here. Hey, this income or this amount that came in, hey, $4,000. The initial year of 2022, but what would that $4,000 be worth if it was 1997? So I'm just gonna grow up and I just do it backwards. 4,000. Ooh, there's a zero there. And 20, and then 1997, and calculate. So that tells me that my $4,000 could be worth way more than what it would cost in 2022. $4,000, $4,000. But I could have stretched. In other words, what it's saying is you could have stretched that $4,000 even more, like 42.43 more percent more if it was 1997. Many of us want to go back to those days, right? But it was worth more, $4,000 worth more back in 1997. Okay. So this is where they can just get an idea like it takes money to move forward. And as we continue to live, the cost of living is going to go up or it has been increasing. And what is that inflation number there? I'm going to go back and click on my home button to go back home. To make learning, and we're gearing up to our end, so we got about 14 minutes left together. But to make up this, students are very engaged with games. All types of learners, even adult learners, they love games. So I'm grateful that Intuit brought in this concept of game style learning, game based learning. All right. Who would have thought some mm, 20 years ago? We've always played games. If you really be honest, if I'll be honest with you, we've always played like battle games in the classroom. But now this is taken into the leverage of a computerized digital style game that students can dive right in, learners can dive right in and just walk through. This is what we call the game-based gamification learning. And then they would understand, like, let me dive into it. They would understand that if I click on the quest, so I click on games, and then this is Intuit prosperity quest. Um, we can view the worksheet. I like that. Once again, teachers, you see that? View the worksheets, but then let's dive in to play the game. We're not going to stay a long time in the game, so not going to bore you with that, but you can kind of see what the game is. And just for the sake of time, let's just do the standalone game. Or yes, teachers, you can start classroom game, but I'm just going to say for the sake of time, let's just start the standalone game. And diving in the standalone game, I can randomize my avatar, change it there. Which one do I like to be with? Right. Let me just stay there. Click continue. You can randomize the name, but we'll just keep it in what it is. Let me go ahead and take the picture. You take your photo. So now I'm a citizen of the Prospera. Okay. The citizen of Prospera. Now I'm diving into the game, getting started. Once you come in, you have 3 worlds that students can dive into and to go to. I'm going to choose the flow of ideas right now to dive into that. And once I dive into it, I would then see that this is what this game does. This is a brief description of what it is. So let me select to go into it, and it's taking me into the world. So here is my overall scenario. My financial goal in playing the game is to have $1,000 in savings. I'm starting with 0 cash. My credit score is 650. My financial wellness points is 250. Now we will look at this and say maybe this was a lesson that will be taught before. So now I'm just getting the students to dive in and to play the game. So let's go and dive in, click play, and we can just take a real quick test on what the game is. I'm just selecting something here. Maybe I'll be right along the way. And voila, it's giving me 5 out of 5. Whoa, I like that. So it gives them an assessment up front to see what their knowledge is, to see if they've missed anything. So I'm going to click continue. And then when I click continue, it brings me into the world, and you just use your arrow keys, space bar. So notice here that there's an amount of doing some work, right? So they have to know, hey, I got to go to work. But when I go to work, I use energy. So you see these lightning bolts here, and they say this will be minus 1 energy coin, but you would gain $150 doing this work. Okay, so I'm clicking on the space bar to get that, and now I have to go upstairs to the next one, and let's see, I can spend 2 coins of energy picking that one plant, or I can spend 1 coin of energy picking that one plant. Let's just come over here and I'm going to use this one plant, hit the space bar, okay? And so now it's saying I'm out of energy. So to go off and to go home so that I can deal with what I need to deal with because I'm out of energy, right? It's telling me my expected expenses is $232.50. So when I'm at home, I'm going to come over here to my table and check out my expenses, and it's talking to me. Okay. So then I can see these are some fudge numbers. So just kind of say that. So when I click on the drop down, the students will kind of see what maybe things will cost in their living that you got to put money towards somewhere. So you have to spend money. Now just hold on to your money. We all want to just save our money, but we got to spend it one way or the other. So it's just giving them their real world time here. So do you want to pay with cash or do you have credit? You want to pay with credit. I'm just going to click pay with the cash that I've earned. So I paid my expenses and this is the money that I have left over. Okay. And so I can then move back and say, well, let me go over here into the computer and see what money. Remember, we need to have $1,000 in savings and start working on my savings account. So I can then go over here to my computer, log into my banking account, just pretend, log into my banking account, and I can say, well, let me manage my savings. So students can then say, you know what? I want to put maybe $50 in savings or $30 in savings, and I can see with a 6% interest what that would do for me and how much money possibly that I can earn in 1 month if I do with the 6%. Okay, if I stay with that. But also I can click confirm or let me click on my investments. So if students would like to invest, say, okay, well, let me add a portfolio. Maybe the lesson has already been taught on high yielding interest and low yielding interest. How much money do I want to put towards that? So the students have an idea of what that would kind of look like and maybe how much money that will cost them, and then they can add the portfolio and go on. So they can play around with those numbers and spend time there to see what would give them $1,000 in their savings account by the time they finish the game. So I'm exiting my room, and before I exit my room, then I'm able to go and ask a question or answer the question really. Common form of savings where you can earn interest. Savings account, we're going to click the answer there and continue. I got it right. So now I'm here. I can continue to work. I can continue to build up, and it's keeping students in the game of building that financial savviness. You know, hey, I have to go to work to earn some more money and then spend my money in the right way. All right. So I can click on my silhouette. I can leave the world. Let me just leave the world now because when we go back and click on, I want to go ahead and leave it. Good. So when we go back to our games here, we can see that one game we also have here is like an arcade style, Shady Sam. He was a loan shark. So this much more so like the old school style pixelated game here that we can definitely dive in. Here's a worksheet and the game can be played there. Okay, we have about a good 6 minutes left and I don't want to hold you long, but one thing that I want to say to you is, let me just go back home so we can see what it looks like. Um, we have what we said that Intuit is associated with the national standards. So when you dived in to the lesson and you were able to see the activity and you click down on the national standard that's there, guess what? If you're really in the United States, the state standards are now there for you that you can go and take a look at. So when I'm on my home page, right over here to the left side menu, the last thing that says state standards. So you can then click on state standards, click on the standards there where you can see what is there. So you can see how it associates with and because I'm in Texas, I selected Texas, so I can see how various standards of associated, what module, what skill can I focus on to address that standard. So the work is done for you. Those who teach economics or financial literacy classes, the work is done for you where you can go grab the standard and just assign it if you're building your lesson plans and going from there. So that's some great work that has been done. Time and effort has been put into that. So if you want to sign up for your free Intuit account, definitely you have to navigate to education.intuit.com, click sign up, and then you will follow the prompts and you can explore during that time. Emily, thank you so much for putting it in. So people, if you're having issues and concerns with getting connected to use these free and interactive sources, Emily is going to put her email address in, or whatever the process is. That if you're having issues or concerns, Intuit is here to help you to make sure that you're able to access these materials. So pretty much, this is telling you that once you go in and create your account, say you are an educator, complete the rest of the form. So 1, 2, 3, 4, sign up, create account, select you are an educator, and then number 4, click submit. If you're still having challenges with doing that, then we will definitely, Emily can definitely get that information to you. Now, here are some QR codes that are showing up on the screen, but I do know that when you are um, on a in a session such as this, QR codes really don't make sense. So I will be pasting each link here individually inside the chat, so then you can click right on it. So if you want to join the educator community, here's this link right here. Educator community, boom, join it. How about saying, how was your experience today? And I know it was excellent. I'm just going to give my own self a pat on the back. Go ahead and fill out that survey link for us from your experience today. And then if you would like to bring Intuit to your education, to your district, there's a link there for you as well. So please, ma'am, please, sir, partner with us. Let us know if you need anything. We want you to take off with this. And I believe, Emily, that is our time with 2 minutes to spare.
Thank you so much.
All right. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Please enjoy the rest of your day, and let's keep Intuit in mind, and let's take off with it. Can we give a hooray to Intuit? Hooray, 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 Intuit. Way to go.